happening, you know. You'd think that all young boys are taught not to touch another woman's berries without explicit permission, lest they catch the wrath of hell. But we had to straighten that out. Especially not in the middle of raspberry harvest season. That's bad mojo.
The leader has just done a 139.03.
Curbs.
And this track has such a nasty pit exit. Like...
Pit lane speed limit is 56 kilometers per hour.
Oh, come on. And you need to...
Crap, we've just had a stop-go penalty.
Every goddamn time.
You've still got an outstanding penalty.
And you need to put your Skippy profile on your pedals, please.
Oh, gee whiz. I just gotten used to it now.
Well, if you're fine with it, it's fine. It's not...
Can I...
The leader has just done a 138.90. There's a car approaching.
It's Walter. Sorry,
Don't
Walter.
cross the white line.
You're going to confuse me.
Watch your
You've got the same bloody livery as Pete now.
It's because we're teammates on Sunday Night Skippy.
I know. You can go past. If you're fine with it, Danny, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm happy to change it if it's helpful here. I think Pete has some position of a coach or authority here. I'm not really certain where it's going.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We can spot Pete a mile away. I think it might be fun just confusing you and him on track as well. That'd be awesome.
Well, there's also some interesting conversations to be had there because Walter and I are very similar pace, but wildly different styles. So
that's interesting.
We will often have different approaches for entire complexes.
So we've got 5k Pete and 5k Walter.
More or less.
Fantastic.
So this is my 7th lap at Laguna Seca since 2013, so I am incredibly rusty here.
Yeah, watch him throw down a 36.
I'm just going to follow your draft and see if I can stay with you, which is unlikely.
The leader's just done a 138.63.
Oh no. I do the same as you by following you. Wrong gear. Alright. Right, let's check the time. Right. Oh, that's awful.
Oh, God.
Left side. Clear left.
P11.
This isn't going to work very well without chat.
I can't remember if I ever raced a Skippy here. I must have. Oh, that's too deep, Lawrence. Right, I'm going to park up. I'm going to start recording, guys, just so you know. As I said, don't feel that you can't speak. Please speak up. I will cut out any inappropriate language, and I'll cut out any questions you want me to cut out. So it doesn't matter, be yourself. Right, let's see if recording works. And I don't put my face in this time. That's a good idea.
The leader has just done a 138.24.
Right, are you guys ready to start?
Need to adjust my Discord volume very low. Just give me a second.
Okay.
guy ahead has just done a 154.19.
Jeez, Annie, you're a second quicker than me.
Am I?
No, it's two tenths.
Quick save.
So Pete, from you said your style differs from Walter's. What can you explain that a bit more? What's the difference? One more aggressive and one more smooth?
So it's often just a difference in what we're prioritizing. So we have a specific example. We were running with each other at VIR last night, and our approaches to the uphill ended up being pretty different, and we could watch the relatives advance and regress a couple of tenths, through that whole section. So, I'm prioritizing a quicker exit. I'm accelerating up the hill and pushing the car off to the left, whereas Walter was prioritizing, a really good entry. And there was a certain point where he would catch me and then fall back behind again due to those differences in the approach. Yeah. And they both came out really close. Like when we ran in clean air, it was very close lap times, but how we achieved them was a bit different.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and just to expand on that, with how I approach the skip, it's such a draft-heavy car that although objectively you should really be prioritizing your exits, I like to prioritize entries because sometimes that can give you a little edge to break a draft, and it's what I tend to practice the most.
Oh, okay. It makes sense in your splits. I don't think it makes sense in our splits
P12.
because of inconsistency. And that's something I want to touch on while we're prepping. One thing I want to touch on, when Pete talked us through Zandvoort, Pete, you spent quite a bit of time talking, and he asked you a few questions around the I don't know what that corner is called. The right hander that goes downhill.
Yeah.
And she asked you about it's after turn 2, that section after turn 2. She specifically asked you, what do you do when cars try to pass you there?
Right.
And I specifically remember you saying, well, I'm going to be on the limit. If they try and pass me here, they're going to be off the racing line and they will struggle to get around the turn. That was kind of the word you used. And that makes a lot of sense in splits where everyone's always on the limit. But in the splits we run in, we're not necessarily on the limit. And what I've seen happen was, for example, that's where Annie did her overtakes. It's just because we're not on the limit. It's actually an opportunity to pass. And that is fascinating to me in the sense that when we do RaceToLearn, we take your guidance and we understand that, and we apply it in our splits, we get a complete different outcome.
Sure.
And that's why I think I'm keen to do the racecraft piece, because it's more, and from my point of view, it's something we learn over time. But if we get pointers and just things to look out for, it doesn't matter where it happens on track, the same principles still apply. And if we can learn those basics and understand that how to apply them, then it's a skill that's transferable and really valuable longer term.
Sure.
Just getting used to right close to each other as well. I think that's invaluable.
Sure. I think we'll be able to, when we're getting into that, I think we'll be able to talk actually a good bit about the Sunday Night Skippy League that we mentioned at the top of the hour that Walter and I compete in as teammates. The
guy ahead has just posted a 139.71. Sector 1 is
experience,
0.14 off the pace.
Skill, and approach range in that group. So that exposes me to traffic patterns and priorities that I wouldn't normally see in an official session, and I do have to adjust the way I'm driving, what kind of assumptions I'm making about what's likely to happen with the pack ahead, how much room I have to give, how do I communicate
Sector 2 is
when I'm coming
0.43
up
off the
on,
pace.
a 800 and a 1100 IR driver that are fighting for position versus coming up against Edwin Valerino and Christian Dronk, don't let them know I said that. We're gonna have to delete that part. Coming up against Edwin, Carl Dronk, and Christian Perez, right? I can make very different assumptions about predictability and what they're likely to do coming up on those. Those are all, 4K, 5K pace guys. Christian's probably one of the fastest, on the service. I'm going to have them in the same session. I might even be fighting with them at the same time that I'm dealing with trying to figure out how do we get through a 3-digit IR pack. So there's a lot of different decisions that I'm going to be making. So I think that's a good basis to have that conversation.
Yeah, that'd be good. But so I think Charles, is your audio okay now?
Sector 1 is 0.6 off the pace.
Charles.
Hello?
You're very quiet, Charles.
Just 1 second.
There we go, that's better.
Is that better?
That's better, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Are we good to go?
Yeah. Just,
On your right. Clear right.
So what I'll do is I'll
Sector
just
2 time is good.
talk through some of the points we touched on when we talked about the session. Things came up about, and these are things I don't often think of myself. I still classify myself as a rookie. So protecting yourself on race start, I think that's something Annie struggles with quite a lot, on where to position the car and what's the best advice.
That's your quickest
So
lap
that's
in this
probably
session.
something
You're
we
currently
can discuss.
0.30
One thing
off the
that's really
pace.
important to me
That lap time was
is that I don't fully understand
1:38.54.
is
Sector 3
communicating
time is
intent via
fast.
car position. I understand the principle, but I don't necessarily believe other people understand what I mean when I position my car, because they will look at the inside and just go for it. So I think that would be an interesting topic to cover. Then this is more track specific stuff that Pete called out. Turn 2 through 4 car positioning and corkscrew options based on risk assessment. That would be very interesting for me as well. And then turn 9 to 11 car positioning. But I think, how do you guys want to do it, Charles? Do we just to follow the leader to start off with?
The leader's just done a
sure. We could
1:38.12.
do single file, follow the leader. I just had a little bit of an issue with my VR. So just give me 2 minutes, I'll be back in.
That's fine. So I'm just going to ask the question. Communicating intent via car position. I take it that's as you approach a corner, and the car's close to you or behind you or ahead of you, so they can either see where you are and what you're possibly going to do. That's also a way of putting pressure on by
3, 2,
making them think you're going to attempt to pass
Box
and
now.
actually not pass, etc. Pete, is that what you're referring to by that?
Yeah, it is. So you're communicating what the options that you're going to leave on the track. So as the leading car, right, you have your choice of how you're going to take that corner. You basically get to choose what you're going to offer to the car behind. You have to give them somewhere to go, right? You can't just block them. So if you intend to defend, you're going to take that inside line. There's a to communicate that you intend to take that defensive line, and it's not going to be available, and there's going to be a collision. If the guy behind tries to dive, you'll generally move over to the inside, well before you get to the braking zone, or as we get to the higher level, right as we're approaching that braking zone. In the lower splits, we talked about this with the start on Summit Point, right? Where I said, I immediately, if I don't trust the field, I don't trust the pack I'm in, I don't care what position I'm in, I don't care if I'm on the right or left side of the track, that first right turn is pretty sharp and a little bit tricky. Right double apex, I'm gonna plant my right wheels directly on the white line, and that track position firmly and clearly communicates that the inside is unavailable. Right.
Yep.
If you want to make an attempt, you will have to push it around the outside. Similarly, you can maintain on the, you can run on the ideal line, and you're gonna leave things open a little bit. So in the lower splits, that's gonna look like an opportunity to make a pass on the inside, even if the physics say that's not possible, right?
Yep.
So communicating that, hey, this isn't a good idea, it's not going to work, by moving your car a little bit further on the inside is sometimes just a way of protecting yourself and making it very clear that this is not a good idea.
Okay.
That's and then as the pursuing car, again, this has really drastic differences between the high level splits and the lower. In the high level splits, Walter mentioned a little bit, it's really draft heavy. That top, the reason that top pack, the front pack in the top split walks away all the time is because they recognize the dynamics of the car, specifically with regards to draft, right? So a lot of times you'll see guys, they're kind of peeking out, but then as we come closer to the braking section, they recognize that if they try to pull the pass there, even if they've got the momentum, they're going to slow down the overall velocity of that group of cars. And they may not want to do that because maybe we want to get a more of a safe gap to work with for the pack that's behind us. So they will communicate with their track position. They'll move all the way far to the outside of the curb, right? So if we're coming up on T1, for example, I'm behind someone like a Walter or a Carl Dranke or something like that. I know I'm not going to be able to make the pass without slowing us down. I'll go ahead and put my left wheels on the left side of the track as early as possible, just to communicate, hey, I'm not attacking, go, 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 right? I want you to take off and I'm going to file in behind you. In the lower splits, again, you're making that psychological assessment. You're trying to understand what your opponents are thinking, right? Are they going to think, okay, he wants to go, he wants to move out, so I'm not going to defend, I'm going to take the ideal line, or are they going to think, oh boy, freebies, right? So that's something that reading traffic, understanding the risk of drivers making suboptimal decisions, and then adjusting what you're going to communicate to them accordingly.
Yeah. Okay.
And corkscrew here is a really good example of that.
Okay. Cool.
A question. I experienced a lot of hits in the first corner. So when I defend the inner side, like you said, when I stay at the white line and want to block in, I would say 80% of I want to get the hit. Then I tried the opposite. I said, okay, even if I'm in the front, like third, fourth position, I just leave it completely open. I take with purpose the outside line so that they can hit each other in the inside, and then I can smoothly go outside. So probably I lose 1 or 2 positions,
sure.
But after the first round, I'm still in the front or in the front pack.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Is that the wrong approach, or is that just desperation?
Yeah. So for me, in the track, the corner numbers are odd here. It actually treats this little kink by the start finish at T1. So that first good left hairpin, that's technically T2 for whatever reason, because we don't know how to number corners in America. So in T2, I kind of treat that as like an area of extremes, right? So on the first couple laps, especially that first lap diving down, if I'm going to go inside, I'm going to go really crazy, super inside, right? If I'm going to go outside, I'm doing as you say, like I'm going to leave 2-3 cars on the outside, and I'm just going to let folks duke it out. I think what I see a lot is people take what a rational person would assume is a defensive enough line, right? Leaving maybe half a car width from the left side of the track, because the way that you're diving down into T2, you're kind of coming at it at an angle. It's not optimal. to have your tires directly on the left line, because it makes the corner even sharper. People don't like to do that. But if you leave the tiniest sliver of daylight, right, your week 2, week 3 drivers are going to see that as maybe I can get a nose in there, right?
Okay.
Even though it's clearly a defensive line, you really have to communicate very, very clearly. If you're going to stick on the inside in less experienced splits, just make it really clear. There's absolutely no possible way you're going to make anything happen on the inside. It's when you leave half a car or a little sliver of daylight and you're wavering, right? That's where people get real hungry taking a look at that inside.
What kind of braking point are you using then? The optimal for the cold tires, or just a little bit earlier to give you yourself a little bit more room?
In general, on the first, especially the first lap, I'm always going to leave a little bit of an extra margin. And that was a big learning curve for me. I started in iRacing and stayed in MX5 and Skippy for probably the first whole season. For me, so a good 3 months, and then started branching out into GT and whatnot. Still doing Skippy now and then. So I had a really good idea, what I felt like was a good feeling for the cadence of traffic. How close to the limit can I expect people to be? What's the accordion effect going to look like? I had a good understanding of how that was working. And then the new tire model came out, and the first implementation was. Let's just say that my muscle memory was incompatible with the way it started. So I completely stopped driving Skippy for like 8 months, right? And then I came back after the second or third release of the tire model. I'm like, oh, this is great. This is, the major issues that were making it extremely difficult for my reflexes and muscle memory to understand what the car is doing. These have been resolved. I like this again. And then you can see in my iRating chart, there's just an immediate dive for the first week that I was back in the Skippy, because the cadence, and it was almost all outlap incidents, because I would practice to the point where I would find the limit of the cold tires, right? And that's what I would expect everyone to do on the outlap. That is not what everyone does on the outlap. Folks are a little bit more cautious. They're maybe doing, they may be doing 7/10 or 8/10 of the capacity where they may have been doing 9 or 10 previously. So I have also adopted that. I'm probably going about 7/10 of what I think the capacity of the car is. So I've got a little extra time to make adjustments when surprise situations come up.
Right, guys, can I interrupt quickly? Do you want to jump on track and we can continue conversations? Because we go slowly at the start, but can we jump on track and just start following each other? Charles, are you okay to take the lead?
Yeah, let's go. So, jump out in front. If I mysteriously go into a wall, it's because my VR's crashed again.
Nope.
Do you need more time, Charles?
No, let's go.
So for the new guys, how this works is we literally just follow the leader and we follow the guy in front's racing line who copies it from the guy in front. So Charles will, that's just to get us all
clear on pit
for the
exit.
feel for the racing line before we, just part of warm-up.
And I can't believe I forgot the pit limiter thing. I have another black flag.
I can clear that for you.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Sorry, you're talking?
That's Daniel Garcia.
Daniel.
Car 21.
Car 21. Let me see if I can find you. I'm not very good at this admin stuff.
Do you want me to do it?
Write his name down next to mine on those who you're gonna have to clear.
We are broken.
There appears to be lots of
Yellow
debris
flag,
up
keep
here,
your wits about you,
gentlemen.
mate.
Yeah, sorry.
Got some parts flying.
Somebody did a brake test.
Someone's on fire. Oh, nope, they're gone.
Yeah, I'm now out. Sorry.
Everybody.
I will. pick
Robert, you're missing a wing.
Yeah, not only that.
Marcus, you have some wing damage as well.
Yeah, I know.
That won't slow him down.
That might speed
No,
him
he
up,
can
actually.
drive on 2 wheels. Yeah.
Probably make him faster.
Yeah, it does occasionally.
So that's an excellent example of leaving 7/10 of the minimum gap that you think would be required.
Yes.
A working example.
So is everyone together, or we got anyone back in the pits?
I think you got 2
I'm
people coming up.
Okay.
I got the black flag for speeding.
Who's that?
Robert. I'm sorry.
I've got it cleared. Actually cleared.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
I see the back.
Oh, I nearly did the same.
Yeah, you're coming up on us here.
So just watch your
And
approach
want
speed.
to-
Go around me. There you go.
Yeah, we're very slow.
And then Robert's sneaking up.
So we go intentionally very slow to start, and that's one thing, Charles, when he started doing this, I realized after a little while, we don't realize we're going quicker. And then suddenly I was breaking my lap times and it still felt slow to me. And that helped me so much, was just understanding slow in, fast out is actually real. I don't have to wring the car's neck all the time. So that's why we still do this. I find it very useful personally.
By the way, just quick question. What kind of brake bias is everybody running?
I'm running 54.
Yep.
I think it's baseline.
I think, what,
54
baseline
to
is
55.
55. Okay.
Yeah, I run 55.
Right, Robert is catched up to the back of us now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Around me, Robert.
Okay.
Go past. There you go.
Okay. Where's that turn? Is that at the white line you turn in for this turn, Charles?
Sorry, I missed that. I was looking up in my mirrors. I'll let you know the next lap.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's a.
There's 2 white lines. You break at the first one and turn in on the second one, right?
Correct. Yeah. There's a white line horizontal to the track.
Yeah.
Still together, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody's bunched up.
Okay, cool. I'll pick up the speed a little bit now.
I'm hanging out in the back with a shock collar in case anybody gets out of line, so I can zap them.
So get Dennis, if you want to get a bit. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine now.
Okay, you turn in a lot later than me there. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Right
Sorry.
side, clear right.
Wreck in the last turn.
Sector 1 is 1.9 seconds off the pace.
Where's the pack right now?
Just coming up with corkscrew.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks.
Sector 2 is 3.6 seconds off the pace.
If we get to the street, we'll let folks bunch up again, maybe. Got a few stragglers.
I got Dennis and Daniel behind me.
Yeah, I had a wreck into last turn, so
Clear left.
took out a couple people. Sorry about that.
Car left. Clear left.
Dennis has made it past, and here comes Daniel.
Alright, sorry guys, I just need to start my my spotter is not running, so just give me 2 seconds.
Daniel's made it past.
There we go. I'm sorry about
And
that.
Walter's coming out of the pits.
Oh, we'll wait. Oh, okay.
I can just slide in behind.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're gonna go behind, yeah. Are we bunched up again?
There you go. Walter's made it in.
I think we're still waiting for Sean.
Oh, I'm running around the back, keeping stragglers in line.
Oh, okay, cool. Rear guard.
Right, we starting to swap now, Charles?
Yes. So the next straight, I'll sure. Dennis is in front of me now, but next straight, I'll drop to the back.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I wasn't sure because I saw you in front of me. I thought you swapped. So if we're not swapping, it's fine as well. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So
I'm just checking. It's up to you.
Yeah, we'll swap.
Okay.
So, Dennis, on the next straight, on the start-finish straight, if you and I drop to the back.
Yep, sure.
And let Lawrence lead a lap. And after that, the next time we come to the same spot, if Lawrence and Marcus drop to the back.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, that's wrong, Marcus. I'm just too wide.
My line through that cone is completely different.
So in the last corner, do you pull first gear or stay in second?
I go to first.
Yeah, I go to first as well. I used to go.
P3.
That's a 10 I can't take slow. Just don't know how to take it. when I'm not flat out.
Sorry about that, Dennis. I didn't see you that close behind me.
No worries.
I was watching the people scatter like little bugs in front of me.
Pulling over.
Sector 3 is 3.5 off the pace.
And he's back.
Yep.
Sorry about that first.
It's fine. You're very quiet, honey.
Can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I've got 1 year on and 1 year off, so the microphone moves.
You're going to be on cold tires anyway. We're still slow enough, so you should be okay.
Okay.
Sector 2 is 2.3 seconds off the pace.
So if you want to drop off, Marcus.
Yeah.
On your left. Clear left.
Is that a 5k Pete next, is it?
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry.
Fine. All good. Yeah, it's Pete and Walter. They're
Okay.
indistinguishable now. Lap
Sector
time
3
and I
is
rating.
3.0
Okay.
off the pace.
So we just call them both Pete. You can.
Yeah,
I'm with
fine.
you.
No, it's fine. It's just the cold tires.
Sector 1 is 3.4 seconds off the pace.
Sorry, I'm just a wee bit distracted. We've got noisy neighbours tonight, and it's not working well with the Wii-in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they've opened up house parties again, so
Oh,
everyone
right.
in the neighborhood's got all their friends over
Yeah.
getting pissed. I'd much rather sit in my sun rig.
Same.
Sad but true.
Sector 2 is 4.8 seconds off the pace.
Right, I'm behind you, Larry.
Yeah, see you. I wish I could get myself into a routine to practice like this, start slow and go quicker, and not flat out.
On your right. Clear right.
Sorry, car 00. I think I braked a little too much and hit you.
See, it's crazy. That's already quicker than I did my warm-up times. I only had 2 laps though. And it's still slow. Actually, no, it's not.
So what percentage of like full pace would you say this is right now?
That's a good question.
Depends
Sector 1
on
is
who you
4.1
ask.
off the pace.
Yeah, it really, it depends. If it was me, I might say 80%, and Pete
50.
might say 40. It really depends. Yeah. It's certainly not flat out, of course.
No, it's not flat out. I brake very early. I still use lower gears as well. I think.
Sector
Should be at
2
a
time
pace
is
where
okay.
you're using the proper gears there.
Is it? Okay, maybe it's the proper gears then.
What is it? At the moment, it is for me nearly 15 seconds slower than my pace.
Cool.
We're doing 51s at the moment. Oops.
It's weird though.
46. 46 was that lap.
Sector
The lap
3 is
before was
3.0 seconds
61.
off the pace.
So that is nearly 10 seconds slower
10
than.
seconds off, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the optimal driving line really doesn't change much. Just how you get about it changes quite a bit from car to car. Although MX-5 and Skippy are close-ish.
Sector 1 is 2.6 off the pace.
You might be running out of fuel soon. Don't laugh. I think.
You're the expert on that, Charles. You'll know.
Yeah, absolutely,
And just for that reason, we put in a 50% fuel limit for the community race.
Really?
Well, I copied IMSA-ish settings, right?
Yeah.
IMSA runs 55% some cars, 50% other cars. I just.
Sector 2 is 0.25 off the pace.
The Larry twist only comes in when I configure the session and forget something. It's never intentional.
Okay, Rob, on when you get an opportunity, if you just want to drop off, who we got left, Dennis? Do all that.
Should we take an opportunity to bunch back up?
Yeah, so whoever's leading, can you drop the pace? And those behind, close, just be careful.
Oh, the last one, that was me, was just over the finish line.
Okay.
So I think
Well,
we're
yeah,
more or less bunched up.
Everybody's bunched up pretty well.
Yeah, we were
Okay.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
Work Annie up as well, that's good.
Yeah, definitely.
Is your wheel working now?
Yes, thank you.
Keep out, please. Good.
Yeah, I rebooted.
She's not going in a straight line, so I think, yeah.
But he was... Arian. That humor, I missed that.
Hey, Robert, are you catching up?
I try.
When you are last, you have really
I know.
make your fast laps.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's so weird when you're at that edge where I lift and then like I get oversteer, which I'm not used to when I'm going flat out. Like there, and I missed the apex.
So I'm at the front. Should I just set a still lower pace and then drop back at the next lap?
Yeah, just so don't go full pace, but don't go too slow either.
Give it about 3/4 bean.
That caught me out.
More of a Magnuson, not a Grosjean.
Ouch.
Had to take the shot.
That was that qualifying though. That was cool.
I missed qualifying. I refuse to pay.
Yeah.
I refuse to pay Sky for the amount of money they're asking me to watch F1. So I'm just watching Sean's updates.
I mean,
Do I need to be vaguer or?
No, yeah, I might send up a one-to-one chat first, so you can keep me posted. I might set up a channel where people can join and see the spoilers.
I mean, I can probably do that. I mean, I get it for free here in the States, so.
You can actually stream it in Discord, by the way. Whoa, whoa,
oh
shit.
Dennis?
Sorry.
Dennis?
I'm calling shenanigans.
Okay, I'm awake.
Mention that one and it all goes to pot.
Well, Annie's in front now.
Okay.
No, I'm not in front.
No, Daniel's leading.
No, just kidding. That's how Annie gets her wins.
No, it's pure
Yeah,
skill.
I did not
Lauren.
expect that.
No, I'm being sarcastic. She got a comment like that on one of her posts, so I'm just winding her up.
Yeah. One guy told me it was pure luck.
Because the guy spun out, it's like,
Yeah.
pressure
Hey
makes
man,
people spin
I'll
out.
take
right?
it. I can have lucky right now. Good takes forever.
Whoa, whoa.
Are we back to the beginning? Is everyone done a lap?
Clear
Or
left.
I've not done a lap, but that's fine. Don't worry.
Annie, get in front, please.
Sean as well.
Pretty
Sean's
back
not
up.
dead
I'm behind Annie now.
Yeah, I'm gonna give me a second, guys. I will be right back.
Okay. Are we bunched up? Can I go?
Yeah.
Go, Annie. Go, Annie.
Just go for it, Annie. Just go for it. Sorry, Pete.
No worries.
The concertina effect caused me out.
Is that my fault?
No, it's I wasn't expecting it to concertina that much.
Oh, okay.
Sector 2 is 1.8 off the pace.
Looks a bit wide there, Annie. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
Hey D. Maybe we'll get you
Pull
next
back,
week,
yeah?
huh?
Yeah.
We're still kind of cutting our teeth here, figuring out the best way to do these, so
Okay, Sean.
there's always another week.
Oh, up. I thought we were peeling off 2 at a time.
Left
No,
side. Clear
take a lap,
left.
Sean, if you want.
I need to stop doing what I do in the real car if something breaks really hard in front of you. You try and avoid and pull over, and then people just go past you. I try and let the guy not drive into my back, into my rear, and not pull over.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good thing. I don't know.
Like I said, I knew I was going off, so I just let it go and got out of everybody's way.
Come on, I can't get the car to turn.
And I probably have damage right now, I don't know.
Has anyone not done a lap?
I haven't. Right behind Sean at the moment.
Okay, cool.
I'm almost dizzy because of all those laps.
That's a good sign, Arjan, because we've that means there's a lot of people participating to this. Well, the next bit's going to be fun.
Whoa, corkscrew.
Pro tip, whenever a driving instructor says the next bit is going to be fun, it's not going to be fun.
But this is also good to learn how to brake.
Yeah. Wreck avoidance.
Oh, Charles, jeez, sorry. That was close. Did I bump you? Yeah,
No.
I did.
Did I?
I got
Zero
I got
contact.
0x.
I saw you come in and tried to get out of the way.
I was in full brake then.
Yeah.
Sector 3 is 3.5 off the pace.
Yeah, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Sector 1 is 2.7 off the pace.
I'm convinced you get better tires when your I rating goes up.
That should be a
car,
thing.
So car 10, car 7, it looks like you guys hit, I think somebody has damage.
Am I 10? That's me, I'm 10. I did get a 0x off Charles's back end.
Yeah, I just saw your two wheels like smack and it glitched out pretty hard on my screen, so I don't know if...
No, the car feels fine to me.
There you go.
Netcode. Is that what it's called? Netcode?
No.
What? What? What's it called?
Fake news.
No coding. Alright, I still don't know everybody's
Has
names.
anybody not done a lap?
I believe everybody has.
Okay, cool. Okay, we'll do one fast lap and then we'll go back to the pits. So, go.
Are we racing?
Yeah, let's just do one fast lap. You can overtake if you want, if you can.
Oh, I'm gonna go in front of me, Charles.
You're a second off the pace in Sector 1.
Car right. Still there.
Pete.
Hold your line.
I'm gonna call
Stay
you guys
right.
names, by the way. Oh, I'm gonna take Pete now. Make me boost my ego, but oh, he let me have
Car
it.
left. Clear left. On your left.
It's just
Still
insane.
there.
How does he do that?
Clear left. Left side. Clear left.
Daniel.
You gotta send it into the last corner, you know?
That puts you.
You've got to be
4
careful
seconds
with dive
off the
bombing,
pace.
eh?
You've just done a 140.50. Sector 3 is 0.6 off the pace.
Oh jeez. Oh sorry. Oh sorry.
Sorry.
Almost. Sorry.
Yeah, take it.
Really, Annie?
Really? Really, Sean?
How many times did you say sorry when you became first?
Oh.
She does that.
Not
She's
one.
got really
I
good
think.
manners.
Sorry for
You're
overtaking
10th
everyone.
off the pace in Sector 1.
Now have a giant sausage curb dent in my floor pan.
Okay, is it back?
There we go.
back-
Sorry.
back to the pits for this one?
Hey.
Oh, it was my bad. I braked way too early.
No, but I should have anticipated that.
The track
That's my fault.
temperature's
I should have
falling. It's now
anticipated that.
91.
Right,
Car
I'm
right.
back to the pits.
There's a lot of truck heaven
Hold your line.
for me.
You guys.
Hold your line.
Managed to not run into
Clear right,
either of you
right side.
yo-yos.
Clear right.
I was all
2 times
clean.
quick.
On your right.
Oh.
Clear right.
The extra ground clearance I have.
Watch your speed.
Oh yeah, this is not a happy car.
Box in 5. 4.
That was amazing.
3.
Just driving
2.
around you guys.
1. Box now.
I think with Pete going too wide through the corkscrew is obligatory.
That's something insane. And then Pete came past me and Charles, and we were 3 wide.
Okay, yeah. New tires. New full tank.
I'm just going to reset.
Reset, yeah.
Not full tank. And I've got a black flag, so let's clear myself because I can.
What
How
do
many
you have?
meters should we take on?
I spit in the pits.
Is that also not allowed? Spitting in the pits?
Spitting. I don't think it's that allowed anywhere.
Okay.
Right, we all reset.
Do these cars even have a pit limiter?
No.
No, they don't.
It's your feet, your foot on the throttle. That's your speed limit.
Yeah, but my foot will give me a black flag every time.
Okay.
Good to go?
Yeah,
Yep,
what
all
we,
good.
what we're doing?
So we'll just get out onto the track and then we'll go side by side, so in pairs.
Okay.
And again, we're going to do slow laps to start with.
So it's two up, right? So, oh, look who I've got.
All clear on pit exit. You can push now.
Anyone know a good divorce lawyer?
Hey, watch. Do I have you?
You might not actually, because Marcus is in front of me.
Oh,
No.
Oh, okay.
Yellow flag. We're not even out of the pits.
No, Marcus parked up.
Because you're just sitting on the track, hanging out.
No.
Next man.
I have only done 1 lap on my tires and fuel, so there was no point going back to the pits.
Sean, if you want to come alongside
Yellow
me,
flag. Caution.
pull alongside.
Aye.
So
Right side.
you should have a car to your left or to
Still
your
there.
right.
Clear right. Car right.
Ooh.
Clear right.
So
I've only one
Car right.
screen, so I don't see that. I just
Hold your line.
Okay.
hear my spotters shouting.
Hold your line.
That's the point of the drill.
Clear.
Clear right.
So
Still to
Right
Annie.
side.
Continue.
Hold your
I'm
line.
alone, so that means I can go 3 wide whenever
Hold your
I
line.
want to, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Sure.
Still there.
On your own.
Still there.
Rabbits.
Are we all together?
Hold
Yeah.
your line. Clear
I'm
right.
trying to keep Annie next to me. She keeps
On your
dropping
right.
behind me.
No, but according to me, I'm in
Still
front of
there.
you.
Yeah, just like a smidge.
Still there.
Do you want a clear answer
Hold
from
your
me?
line.
Yes.
And you're
Still there.
along to each other. Yeah.
Okay.
Clear
Okay,
right.
we've got our divorce, not
Right
a lawyer,
side.
but we've got a mediator.
right.
between
Mediator.
us.
Yeah. You're still together.
Good. Let's arc
On
wheels.
your right. Hold your line.
Right, pick up the pace, Annie. Let's sit on their
Hold your line.
toes.
Yeah. So
Clear
the
right.
car in front of. Oh, it's going to be difficult. But yeah, let's try and
right.
stay quite close.
Hold your line.
Oh, in front you mean?
Hold your
Yeah.
line.
So the car in front and the car to the side.
Still there.
So I am 0.1, so it's
Still
0.
there.
Within 0.3, right?
Clear right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Car right. Hold your line. Clear right. On your right. Still there. Hold your line. Clear right. Right side. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line. Hold your line. Clear right. Right side. Clear right.
Whee!
Sean, try and get that set.
Man up here, Jerome. Don't be shy.
Jimmy is going absolutely ballistic.
Yeah, he's getting overtime.
You should have the advantage here, Sean.
Push on it. You should push ahead there, yeah. And the inside as well.
Right side. Still there. Hold your line. Clear right. On your right. Still there. Hold your line. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line. Clear right. Car right. Hold your line. Still there. Clear right.
Ooh, ooh.
Car right. Clear
this
right.
is going to be interesting in this.
On your right. Hold your line. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line. Clear right. Right side.
Okay, guys, on the next
Hold
straight,
your line.
leave
Still
a bit
there.
of a gap in, with the car in front of you, and
Clear right.
swap positions with the car on your left
Next.
or right, next to you. Yeah.
On the straight. Swap on the
Yeah.
straight.
Right.
Swap now.
Swap, Andy, swap.
Still there. Clear right. On your left. Hold your line. Clear left. Car left.
Yeah.
Clear
this is in bottom splits typically where people try to overtake. Is that turn?
It's every bloody turn in this track.
Left side.
That bit before the corkscrew
Still
drives
there.
me crazy.
Clear left. On your left.
Let's pick up the pace a
Clear
little bit.
left. Left side. Clear left.
Oh, Marcus, people.
Mr. Bolton.
Sorry, I'm late.
Oh, no.
Family stuff.
More important.
Oh,
Car
geez,
left.
sorry, Sean. Almost.
Clear left. On your left. Still there. Clear
Sean.
left.
There he is.
Left side. Clear left.
Ooh. Oh,
left.
jeez,
Oh,
this is a
wreck
different
and
line.
cluster there.
Oh,
Yellow
this is
flag.
different.
Watch
Oh,
out.
this is different.
Still there.
I made my own line.
Hold your line.
I heard a bang. I
Yeah.
heard
Clear left.
a bang.
Yeah,
I don't
corkscrew
know.
on the
On your
left
left.
side is interesting.
Clear left.
I had a visitor from behind.
We all
On
still
your
going,
left.
or?
Still there.
Andy, can
Saw
you
it
drop
coming,
back?
so I just said I'm not
Hold your
even going to
line.
try to.
I'm
Hold your
dropping
line.
back. I'm dropping back to catch up with Lawrence.
Clear
Or you
left.
can just pick a new partner, it doesn't matter.
Car left.
That's fine,
Up to you.
where are you?
Wide. You're
Oh
on the
my
right.
god, that's spicy for a Saturday.
Left side.
Let's pick a new partner. Woohoo, great.
Hold your line.
Ah,
Oh, I forgot his year. Oh,
Hold your line.
jeez.
where are
Clear
you,
left.
Lawrence?
Pen, take my right side.
I'm just out the
Pen,
pits.
take right.
Okay. I'm at the
Oh.
back, Lawrence.
I'm
Right at the
fighting
back.
Grosjean on track, the Haas car. Was it Magnussen?
I've lost my partner.
Fancy meeting you here.
On your right.
In the pits.
Should we
Hold
just
your
try
line.
and catch up with you guys?
Has anybody?
Around back?
Hold your
If
line.
you're quite close to
Still there.
behind with us behind
Clear
you, then
right.
just wait for us.
Right
Oh,
side.
you
yeah.
close by.
The
Yeah,
whole
only 20
Clear
seconds.
right.
The pack's coming.
Car right.
Okay, the pack's
Yellow
coming.
flag.
Clear right.
That's a good catch, Daniel.
On your right. Hold your line.
Can't see Sean.
Clear right.
Oh, there it is.
I'm here.
Right side. Still there.
I used to hate this
Hold
track in
your
the
line.
Master, but I quite like it nowadays, now that I know how the corkscrew
Still there.
works.
Honestly, I love
Still
this
there.
track in
Clear
Monster. It was
right.
so much fun.
I'd
Just
never got
chuck
on with
it
it.
in and stand on the throttle.
On your right. Clear
Alright,
right.
should we just wait here on the straight?
Car right.
Yeah.
Hold your line.
I'll take that side.
Yeah,
Hold your
I'm
line.
partnering up with Arjan. I've got Arjan next
Yeah.
to me.
Hold your
so-
line.
I'll grab Daniel then.
Still there. Clear right. Car right.
Ooh. Gee,
We'll
where's
just
Hold your
grab
line.
you, Daniel.
Alright, gotcha.
Shoot.
Still there.
Blimey.
Still there. Clear right.
That line is really different,
Right
isn't
side.
it? The inside
Yeah.
line.
Clear right. On your right.
Okay,
In one
guys.
turn.
We're going to do another
Still
swap in a
there.
minute, but
Clear
not on the
right.
straight.
Car right. Hold your line.
Yeah.
Hold your line. Hold your line. Clear right.
Yellow.
Right side.
Oh, jeez.
Hold your line.
The inside lines are really, really different, aren't they?
Different,
Clear
isn't it?
right.
Daniel, let's go.
Alright, I'm following you.
Right
Which side do
side.
you want?
Clear right.
Alright, because I'll just get outside.
Roger.
Car left.
Shift.
Hold your line. Clear left. On your left. Hold your line. Hold
Okay,
your line.
swap.
No!
Now?
Still there.
Freaking Gee!
Still
Me and
there.
Sean are up.
Yeah, we're still
Clear
alive.
left.
Yeah,
On your
well,
left.
Arjan.
Just
Clear
gonna
left.
call swaps whenever. That honestly, that
Oh.
sounds
Left
super
side.
fun.
Oh,
Where's Arjan now?
Hold
I've
your
lost
line.
Arjan.
I'm behind you.
You behind me? Okay.
Still there.
I'm now the mediator,
Clear left.
and he's miles behind
Car
you.
left.
Just
Oh,
back
okay.
him up a bit.
I'll back off.
Hold your
I'll
line.
back off.
No. That,
There you
I'm
go.
back.
Still there.
I'm back.
Hold your line.
Okay, here we go again,
Hold your
guys.
line.
Let's swap again now.
Still there. Clear left. On your right. Clear right.
Charles, can we make it slightly different?
All
Can
right.
Can you call out the turn we're swapping in? So we swap
Hold
in the
your
turn
line.
on the exit of the turn instead?
Clear
Because
right.
we tend to swap on the straights at the rear of the pack.
Oh, okay, got you.
If your intention is for us to swap in the
On your
turn.
right.
I'm dead.
Charles,
Hold your
I
line.
had a slight incident.
Right column. Right column.
Hold your line. Clear right. Car right.
Yeah, some
Still there.
happy
Kind of went into
swappers.
the. I went into the dirt a little too much.
Clear right.
Right. While they're repairing the remaining pack, can we just agree to swap at turn 1, in turn 1? Use turn 1 as a swapping.
Which one is turn one?
Oh, that's a good point. Turn 2. Turn 2.
I will. Who's leading?
They're coming around the. They're about to hit the straight right now.
I just saw a
they're-
wheel nut come off.
Yeah, they're just turning onto the straights.
Yeah. Okay, so,
So-
I'm in
And
with
I am
Robert.
next to me. Next.
Where should we swapping? Okay.
I'm in with Robert.
On the exit of turn 2 on the wee straight there.
We swap on the exit to turn two.
Exit after turn 2. Which
your
is the...
Okay.
Whoa! There's
Hold your
another
line.
one come.
I'm
Clear
sorry.
right. On your right. Clear
There you
right.
go.
So swap now. Swap
Yeah,
now.
no.
Oh, gee, oh.
Right side.
Jesus.
Hold your line.
I swapped earlier than you, so
Still
I
there.
was blind for a second.
Clear right. Car
That
right.
was good reflex, Daniel.
We are
still there.
learning.
Clear
We
right.
are learning.
They're
We
saying
are
these
alright.
cars.
We didn't die. That's the important part.
Okay,
Hold your
swap
line.
after the
Hold your
Mother's
line.
Bridge.
We?
Huh?
Hold your
Eh?
line. Still there.
Under
Clear
the
right.
bridge.
After, yeah.
After
Car
the
right.
bridge.
Hold your
Oh.
line. Clear right.
Ooh. Sorry, nudge. That was a nudge. Sorry, Marcus.
No worries.
You're missing a nose.
Your nose
Yeah,
cone's gone,
somebody
Annie.
lost a nose.
Is my nose
Right
gone?
side.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
pit. I'll pit.
Luckily we don't see you.
Still there. Clear right. Car right.
Annie, you're fine. We're not going quick enough
Oh.
for
Hold
to
your
make
line.
a difference.
Right column.
Clear right. Right side.
Coming back.
Still there. Clear right. On your right.
Okay, the next swap's going to be after the
Still
right
there.
turn, leading before you get to the
Hold your line.
last turn.
Lost a partner.
Clear right.
Are you still?
I'm still, yeah, but Annie's taken over. Ariane fell.
Left side.
Disappeared. Oh, no, Ariane's, yeah.
No,
Still
I'm
there.
alone, so I'm an easy swap.
Yeah.
Still there.
Oh, no.
Ariana's
Hold your line.
sneaking. Oh.
No,
Yeah,
Clear
but-
left.
Hey Larry, did I hit
Left
you?
side. Clear left.
No, it's fine. We avoided
Left
each other. It's
side.
good.
Clear left. On your left.
So I didn't avoid Marcus, so I do apologise.
Hold your line. Clear left.
Well, practice, honey.
1,
Car left.
2.
Still there. Hold
Okay,
your line.
stop after turn 3.
Hold your line. Hold your line.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, no. No, okay. I need
I think,
to...
Charles, I think
On
the
your
turn
right.
numbers is confusing.
Okay.
Clear right.
Okay.
Some
Car
people
right.
stop. So we've got
Okay.
the.
Okay.
Still there.
I've
Clear
reset,
right.
so I'll catch up
Right
with you
side.
when you come
Okay.
past the
Hold
straight.
your line. Still there. Hold your line.
So the
Clear
Mother's
right.
Bridge is a good shout.
Mother's
think
Bridge,
the-
yep.
The Mother's Bridge is the red bridge, not
Right
the
side.
bridge.
Yeah, it says modders. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hold
exactly.
your line.
And then there's a second bridge,
Still there.
VP.
which is the VP bridge,
Hold your line.
VP
Hold your
Racing
line.
Fields.
Yeah.
Hold your line. Hold your line. Still there.
Swap after the
Still
Bubba
there.
Burgers Bridge.
Bubba Burger.
Still
Oh,
there.
you're a bastard.
Yeah.
Hold your line.
Oh, it's a nice
Clear
view
right.
from behind. All those. It's like a synchronous dance.
Car right. Clear
I
right.
think we need to
On your
bunch
right.
up again.
Yeah.
Hold your line.
Just get
Clear
Parkers
right.
again.
Okay. Do you want to talk about
I'm waiting.
On your right.
overtaking opportunities? And
Hold your line. Clear right.
Yeah, I think overtaking opportunities
Car
is a
right.
good one.
So
Still
I've got
there.
a question before we start with that, right?
Clear
So
right.
when I
Right
race,
side.
when I practice, I pick fixed
Yellow
spots
flag.
on the track
Hold your
where I'm
line.
willing to overtake, and
Hold your line.
I try and stick to them. So it
Hold your
forces
line.
me to think about
Clear
the
right.
overtake rather than diving.
Car right.
Is that good? Is that bad? Is
Still
that-
there. Still there.
Obviously, when there's opportunity, I'll take it. But I generally,
Hold your line.
if I follow somebody, I will plan to overtake
Hold
specific
your
space
line.
on the
Clear
track.
right.
But I decide that before I race.
On your right.
Okay,
Hold
so
your line.
that's partially track knowledge, right? Like you know
Still there.
where the safer places to go too wide,
Still there.
where you're not so
Clear
on
right.
edge, where you've got a little bit of wiggle room to respond to
Right
each
side.
other. That's excellent, right? Know
Clear
where the
right.
safer places are, but it's not necessarily
right.
the only places to overtake, right?
Hold your line.
That's all part of that. We talked
Hold your
about
line.
that. Corkscrew can be a fine place to overtake
Still there.
if you have a good understanding of how
Still
risky
there.
the field is, right?
Clear right.
So I'll adjust which
Right
corners I'm
side.
willing to overtake in based on
Hold your line.
the disposition that
Still
I've
there.
assigned to the drives around me. Like Carl, oh my
Hold your
god,
line.
I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me. Walter
Hold your
over
line.
here, you know,
Hold
any
your
corner,
line.
basically.
Still there.
If there's any kind of opportunity, last couple laps,
Hold your line.
we'll go ahead and
Hold
throw
your
it
line.
in there. But if we're in like one of those like
Still
single
there.
split Skippy races,
Hold your line.
and we've got a big wide
Still
range
there.
of traffic around us, I haven't been able to watch anyone.
Clear right.
I'm probably going to stick
On your
to the final hairpin
Still
and maybe
there.
watch
Clear
them
right.
T1, T2, try to force an air and get around them there. I'm not going to go too wide in T6. I'm not going to go too wide in Corkscrew.
Right side.
It's too dangerous if I don't trust them.
Hold your line.
Yeah.
Somebody's car's on fire, by the way.
Still there.
And also, Marcus, you have no wing.
Still there.
Just letting you know.
I
Clear
know.
right. Car right.
Okay.
We don't go
Still there.
fast enough yet, so it doesn't matter for this.
Hold your line. Hold your
I
line.
think I actually won a race without a wing one time.
You're on the left. 3
Oh.
wide.
We've got to turn up.
Car right.
Broom's down.
Hold
Okay,
your
guys,
line.
can we jump back to pits?
Hold your line.
We haven't even done 3 wide yet.
Hold your line.
Are we pitting in?
Hold your line.
Yeah, let's go to
Yes.
pits.
Clear right.
You kid, but that's part of the competition license for SACA and
Look out for the pit speed limit.
NASA that I was discussing with Mr. Hauser on things to try here. They actually
Box
at
in
this track
5,
for the
4,
certification
3, 2.
to get your competition
1.
license, they will go 3 wide.
Box now.
all the way around this track, just like we did for 2 wide. The purpose is not just to learn the lines, but to get an intuitive sense of how wide is the track really, and how much space does one car take up next to you, how much space does 2 cars take up next to you, and what do you have to do different with your lines to make sure that you stay in the exact amount of space that you intuitively understand you have now.
Obviously, that's going to differ from track to track.
It is.
But that's the purpose of this, is that you've got to understand where the limits are with traffic next to you, and then apply that on all the other different tracks. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's changing your inputs to be able to hold the car on the correct ribbon of track, right? But what I found, even today, when I'm looking at a new track, I'll misjudge how wide the track really is when we're going in 3 wide, or how much room we really have when we hit that apex. And it's a bad day when I get it wrong, for sure. And it's not just about technical adjustments. It's about okay, if I hear that 3 wide call, I know that I've got this much track to work with, right? The bringing the technical skills to bear to use that chunk of track is almost a separate skill, right? Really the tricky part is, okay, if you're 2 wide, what does that really mean, right? How far out can I go before we've got a problem?
Okay. And that's, I suppose that's where track knowledge definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, track knowledge is king in that situation. Yeah.
Okay.
Or queen. I'm, not judging.
Good point. Is it worth maybe doing a demonstration, maybe myself and Pete, do a couple of laps? I'll go in front and then Pete do attempt to overtake. And everyone else can watch in either cockpit or bar chase or something.
Yeah.
And Pete, if you can do everything that was like, maybe just verbalize your thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just disable push to talk quick.
Okay. I'm gonna jump into Pete's car.
Yeah, if you jump from Pete's view, you'll see what he's doing as he's talking.
For the new guys, make sure you live. So we go out of our cars, we go back into the iRacing screen, go click on the little arm at bottom left, select Pete. If you don't know how to do this, you select Pete, and then use the fast forward button, the bigger one of the 3 fast forward buttons, which is click it multiple times so it forwards and it says live underneath the pause button. Then you'll be live.
You could also jump in Charles' car if you want to chase view.
Yeah. And then change your view to cockpit view if you want, or whatever camera you prefer.
Why do my tires look bigger than yours, Annie?
Is this how mine is bigger than yours competition?
No, it's just weird. I'm like side by side with your car, and my tires look like 2 inches taller than yours.
So it's iRacing then.
Is everybody in Pete's car and live?
Yes, I'm in Pete's car and live.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I will stop mucking around.
Anybody not live or not in Pete's car?
Still alive.
Girl.
Oh, jeez, Pete.
Oh, come on.
Give me my
here.
Has Pete just made half the field puke? No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone with VR.
It's gonna happen with low frame rate.
So just 1 second. So just 1 sec, Pete. So I'm gonna stick to my racing line. It might be slightly different to Pete. He's obviously more experienced than myself. And he's gonna have to try and negotiate around me. There's gonna be sections of the track where he's gonna gain quite a lot going into a turn because he's coming off a straight, but he may need to come off his normal race line to get around me. So my tyres aren't warm, but I'm gonna go now, and Pete is about half a second behind me. I'm just gonna follow my normal line at my speed I would normally go with cold tyres.
Okay, so I'm basically observing right now, right? I haven't raced with Charles much. I don't know his style. So I'm going to just be watching. What kind of lines does he take? Does he prefer late apexes? Is he trail braking? And what does exits look like? Are there any weaknesses that I can poke at?
Pete, that's interesting. How do you know he's trail braking?
It's in the rotation of the car, right? So the Skippy's really about getting the attitude of the car right through the corner. So I'm looking at, are they overslowing a little bit before they get into the corner? That's going to tell me that they're probably preferring to brake more in a straight line. I'm also looking at velocity on the apex, and of course, you know, what does their exit look like? But it's really the motion of the car that I'm looking for. Okay, so here I might just kind of see how they respond when it looks like I might
On your left.
be
Clear
going
left.
inside. And then I like to overcook it a little bit just to get some heat in the rears. Holy shit. Okay, my rears are good. My rears are good.
I've been a bit skewiff there, actually.
I think he just drove over a raspberry bush.
Oh, that's too soon. Too soon.
Well, that made me feel a whole lot better.
Pete's got edge quit now.
Okay. Let's
Well done.
let's try
Thank
one
you.
with less whoops and just see if we like that a little better. Okay, so there's one thing I noticed there, like, Charles didn't exit on the very point of that left, and he didn't track all the way out. So I'm going to be watching to see if he does that again next lap. So that might be something I can use to set up a run coming up the hill here, because I might be able to get more exit velocity before we come up to T6. As he is kind of straight lining, pretty similar line to me, coming through Corkscrew. He does like a little later apex. So there might be an
Sector 2's
opportunity there
2/10 off the pace.
for me to get inside if we end up getting close. And he's tracking out pretty far and not using all of the track here. So there might also be an opportunity for me to use draft and make a good run of things at the final hairpin here. Of course, I also need to keep in mind that he's on colder tires, so some of these things might change in the next couple laps. I'm going to be watching to see if these things are patterns.
Sector 3 is 0.30 off the pace.
Okay, there's that wide entry again. So that's looking pretty good for me once I get the confidence to be able to get the car woed up in time. He's not moving all the way over to the left there, and he's turning a little bit later than me. So I think I've got a good chance to get a run after we get turned in for exit of this corner. So I've got a little bit more exit velocity.
Left side.
So I'm going to kind of force him here and just see
Still there.
how does he handle that when
Clear
he's only
left.
got the inside line
On your
available.
left. Clear left. Left side.
Okay.
Hold your
Not
line.
too bad.
Clear left.
Sorry.
A little bit of a track awareness situation, so I'll keep that in mind for the next one. Okay. There might be a focus
Car left.
weakness I can exploit there.
Hold your line.
So I know he prefers this wider
Hold
line.
your line. Clear left. Car left. Clear
So
left.
you basically
Alright, Pete, we need to
trying
watch the
to
track
force
limits.
him to
We
take a
need to slow
different
down
line
bit
to
if
make
you
a
don't want the
mistake?
penalty.
Yep, and I actually just got to slow down there, so...
Oh, it's actually working.
So was that
Okay.
a cut on Corkscrew?
That was, yep, that's a little too much. And that's kind of
You
track
cut the
knowledge,
prop.
right? Haven't put in many laps here yet for practice, so that's something I'll go and I'll find what's the absolute bleeding edge that I can do, because I know that those are good passing opportunities. So I'm going to be taking a look at that just to see how much can I use and abuse that, right?
What fascinates me, Pete, is that you see the corkscrew as a passing opportunity.
depends
I
on the
see the
traffic.
corkscrew as avoid everyone opportunity.
Yeah, it's a 5A opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now I could challenge on entry here for this sweeping right, but that doesn't really make much sense for me.
Left side. Clear left. On your right. Clear right.
You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 1.
Right side.
Isn't that a double move?
Nope.
Yeah,
Still there.
Oh, we only went for
Clear
block
right.
one.
Okay, so we know we're clear, so we can go ahead and take this back. One thing to note with iRacing too, it's not really about single versus double move. And especially if you're behind, there's no limit to the amount of harassment you can offer. The idea with the double move, and that's very much an F1 thing that doesn't necessarily exist in others, is you're allowed basically a full-on block when you're leading, but you can only do it once. So in iRacing, it's about the lead car. Once they choose their line, they have to commit to it. So basically whatever they, if they're on inside or outside, coming up to the braking zone, they're not allowed to change, you know, basically at the braking zone or any way that's going to, you know, impede the guy behind. So in that case, you know, first of all, I wasn't leading, so I can basically do what I want in response to what Charles is offering.
You're now 2.0 seconds off the leader's pace.
To
Sector 3 is
slightly later move,
All right.
to the outside, so long as he's stuck with it once he committed. He could not come back in to the left once I responded.
That is stuff that I didn't know that. Okay. Is that something that I've forgotten in the code of conduct?
That is mentioned in the sporting code.
Sector 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe they call out that you can't make a move in response to the car behind you as well.
Yeah. Now there's a, you know, there's a common sense interpretation that you kind of have to apply, right? Because, like, well, I'm going to position my car defensively in response to the car behind. What they're really getting at is if you move to the inside and the car behind you elects to move to the outside and you're coming into the braking zone, you can't just jam the car back over to the outside because they took what you offered to them. That's not allowed.
Okay.
So how do you deal with that in iRacing? Do you have to protest, right? That's the only way, because it's not automatic, it's not electronic.
So if it's blatant blocking, then yes, that's protestable condition, and they can get a vacation from that. But it really has to be something that's fairly intentional.
Okay. It's hard to prove, though.
It depends. Go ahead, Walt.
Following that rule, it really falls hand in hand with good communication.
Off the pace.
You know,
time was
if I'm really trying to communicate which line I intend to take, I'm going to communicate that by taking that line way before moving in response, or really the corner ahead becomes an issue.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I'm going to start just running a defensive line. So what would this look like if I'm going to communicate that, you know, you're welcome to try around the outside, but the inside's just not going to happen. It's going to be a slower line, so Charles will be able to keep up here. So before I get to the braking zone, I'm going to come at least mid-track. How far over I come is going to depend on how much I trust the traffic behind me. You know, in more skilled traffic that I trust more, you know, I'll come a little later.
Clear right.
In a little bit less, right? So he's allowed to go around the outside here if he wants. I can't go to the outside now because I gave it to him. That's what I offered him. I can't just take it back.
On your right. Clear right.
And this is where those two wide drills really matter, right? So what does leaving the outside actually mean? What does leaving the inside actually mean?
On your right. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line.
You should be able to get the run there.
Still there.
But we'll see. I might be able to maintain enough overlap to still take away the inside.
Still there.
Coming up to T2. You don't really need much.
Hold your line. Clear right.
Just enough where they've still got a bit of a spotter call in it.
Pace.
I'm going to make sure that I don't leave an over-under opportunity. Really hold it tight.
That's what I'm going for.
And that's another thing to think of too. Is everyone familiar with the idea of an over-under?
Hold your line.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Hold your line.
I know the concept. But...
Still there.
Okay, so I'm gonna
hold your line.
We'll do it here. So the idea is I'm gonna let him go through. I'm gonna focus on getting a much better exit.
Right side.
Quite go.
Hold your line.
Yeah, so that basically got underneath there, right? So it's
Still
the idea of you let them go. You let them go on ahead.
Hold your line.
Brake a little bit earlier and focus on
Hold
getting
your line.
a stronger, higher exit velocity.
Still there.
So you can
Clear right.
hopefully get them on the next straight. Now, there's a way to defend against that if you know, if you've been observing, right? You're in a pack of traffic.
Sector 2
you're
is
watching
1.8
the
off
2,
the
3, 4
pace.
guys and gals ahead of you. And you notice that one of them is just constantly working their way up at the over-under or a dummy move, which is what I did to Charles the first time we went through there, where it looked like I was going to go outside, and then it's like, nah, just kidding, right? That I planned on that from the start. I had no intention of trying to go around the outside. Anyway, so if I were to try that again, and Charles keyed in that that's what I was going to do, he could choose to take the slower inside line and stay inside and not track out.
3.9
And then all of a sudden I've got a
was a
big
142.02.
stupid fat car in front
Sector
of me
3 is
trying to
1.1
take that
seconds
inside
off the
line.
pace.
I have to let off the throttle. So let's see if we can do
Okay,
that
so
here.
can I just replay that, Pete? So essentially, if I suspect somebody's going to do that, then I just keep a tight line and hug the corner,
Yeah,
and that
so-
will ruin his opportunity to come through, right?
Yeah, let's see if we can get in a good position. This isn't quite going to be close enough. Trying to think of the best corner to illustrate that concept.
Trying to think.
Last corner would be a good one, I think.
Yeah.
Sector 2 time is okay.
Okay, let's see.
It's just trying to think which is the best corner to try.
Yeah, let's try. God, yeah, I don't know.
That puts
Yeah,
you
you
at
can
1.0 off the
On your
possibly.
left. Still
So
there.
this is a good example. So just stay mid-track.
You're a
on your
second off
exit
the
here.
pace in
So I'm
sector.
going to set
Clear
up here.
left.
Your lap time.
Charles comes
Car
over
right.
mid-track
Clear
because he's coming
right.
over mid-track, but he didn't. I would have had a car in front of me, right? Let's try and set that up again. Let's do the left
your
before
right.
the uphill,
Clear right.
Yeah.
and just make sure that you exit basically mid-track there, so I can see what that looks like. So Charles can defend into here, coming onto this left, right?
Sector 1 is 2.0 seconds off the pace.
Didn't really take defensive lane, but if I
Sorry,
try and maximize my exit, and Charles is still mid-track there, if he came out here, I wouldn't be able to continue on my exit lane.
Would that force you to left because you'd be full
It
throttle?
would force me to lift, yes.
Yeah,
It would
and
kill
that's what
my
we want,
momentum.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So as the leading car, if you've figured out the psychology of your opponent, that they're inclined to do that, they're going to try and send it, and they're they're banking on you, tracking all the way out. Just, don't. It's going to mess with them a little bit.
On your right. Still there. Clear right.
Okay, let's see if I can find a good spot.
Yeah, if you're in a pack of more than 2 cars, and you successfully defend against that move, it is terrible for the car who loses their exit speed, because
You're
often that's
currently
enough that even the car
5.0
behind them
seconds off the pace.
can take it.
Your last lap time was a 143.10. Sector 3 is 1.4
Okay, so
off the
here
pace.
he could be going for an over-under, right? So I'm just going to stay here. So in that
All
case,
right.
he's able to get enough velocity to stay tight.
Still there.
But he could not come back over
Hold your
across
line.
the track.
Hold your line.
But he can take the next one tight again.
Hold your line.
Then.
Yep.
But,
Hold your
yeah,
line.
okay, fair enough. Yeah.
He'll have the advantage for the next turn.
Hold
Yeah.
your line.
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah,
your
it's
line.
back to thinking ahead, Annie, which turn.
Yeah.
It's got
Which
the
turn?
biggest
Still there.
straight.
Clear right.
for
So
the-
here's another
Sector
good
1 is
example. He's
1.4
going left
off the
here.
pace.
I'm like, get bent. I'm staying
Yep.
mid-track. And
Yep.
then I can choose my line for the next corner.
Okay. So yeah, again, like Lawrence just said, thinking ahead of where's
Yeah.
It's thinking about that exit again. Always thinking
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
that
wait.
exit.
Where do you need the fastest
Now, if we were to
pace?
bring Walt out here and have him chase the both of us, then the whole thing just gets turned on its head. Because now I'm thinking about how can I feed Charles
Sector
to
2 is
Walt?
0.6 off the pace.
Do you want to come out, Walker?
Sure.
And that's a really common tactic. Walt hit on it. And that's a very legitimate tactic that we might be thinking of is, you know, if I've got Edwin 2 cars back and I've got Christian 1 car up, if I can slow down someone who's between me and Edwin just enough that Edwin gets next to him while not really impeding Christian too much and not losing his draft, that pair might get slowed down enough that I can walk away with Christian.
okay.
You're now 2.9 off the leader's pace. That was a 141.03. Sector 3 is 0.8
This pit exit always
off the
confuses
pace.
me.
Left side. Clear left.
Right, I need a different camera view for this. Where's Chopper? No, that's not working.
Chopper's
Maybe
not
far chase on one of us.
Sector 1 time is good.
Far chase on Walter at the moment. You will be able to see everything.
Gotcha. Thanks. Thanks, guys.
Far chase on who?
Walter.
Walter.
Walter. Okay.
So who are we rooting for?
Yeah, we're hanging in the air.
Okay,
Taking
so
bets.
I'm going to pedal a little bit into a couple of these braking zones just to let people come up, which is another both fuel saving and safety strategy. So when you exit, and we talked about this a little bit before.
Sector 2 is
Larry, with your
0.37
question,
off the pace.
Zandvoort with that final corner, like how do you manage the gap? Well, you can lift before the end of the corner and then have the exact same exit speed. So I'm doing that now, just to kind of bring in Charles and Walter. It's like Walter might have had some issues.
Yeah, I
Your
tried to
bid-
match your pace on the corkscrew. My tires
do it.
wouldn't have it.
Didn't work out well.
Let's go ahead and just wait up a bit, and get about a 10-second gap there. We might actually want to have Walter.
That puts you
I think
3.0
I'm going to
off the pace.
voluntold
That
Walter
was a
to describe what he's seeing
141.14.
ahead of him
Sector
and what
3
he's
is
looking for in the interplay
2.7
between me and
seconds
Charles.
off the pace.
Because observation, taking the time when we call it the popcorn position, right? Taking the time when you're behind a pack that's fighting to understand the dynamics, but who's likely to do what, who's more aggressive, who's thinking more strategically, who's got a certain weakness at a specific corner. That's all stuff that you're thinking about while you're just chilling out, a half second back from the pack that's really fighting. That for you is a study opportunity to start picking your moment.
Pete, I apologize. There's about 7 minutes left of this session.
Yep.
Okay.
So what you're saying is we need to get us into a good old West Side Story style knife fight on the quick.
Make your move.
4 laps.
All right. So one thing that I'm going to look for here is, are they trying to get away from me? Are they working together, or are they already in a battle themselves?
Sector 2 is 0.48
And
off
one
the
way
pace.
that you can kind of see that is if another car is just kind of riding the other car's coattails, they'll typically be following a less ideal line. And if you look at the heads of the drivers in front of you, they'll be bobbing along together, kind of like, I don't know, passengers on a subway. If anyone knows that phenomenon, like everyone just kind of moves in unison, and it's like a rope whipping. Where on the other hand, if Charles were trying to be ultra competitive with Pete, his moves would probably not match him very closely at all. He would probably be trying to take advantage of anything he could find, and that would create kind of a dissonance in that symmetry between the two of them.
Working together, like you just explained, how often does that happen in official races that's not league races? I mean,
Sector
in
1 is
the lower
0.7
bottom
off
splits.
the pace.
Well,
I think it's unlikely, Annie.
Yeah, for me,
I think it's
not
unlikely.
It's quite unlikely, but you could still use you know, the car in front of you to your advantage.
Yes.
You know, like Pete was saying, in terms of, you know, looking at their driving styles, looking at opportunities. Are they doing the same thing lap after lap, or are they
Yes.
changing the line? They're being defensive, and then, you know, measuring them up basically, and finding an opportunity, because it's very rare you get somebody you know in an official race.
Yes.
I think, Charles, what I have done is I might not have worked together, but the guy in front might have not worked together, but I worked together with him because he was maybe a little bit smidge quicker than me, and I would just use his draft to pull away from the guy behind me.
Yeah.
I think that's essentially it, and is that you try and break the draft between you and the other guys behind you.
Yeah.
Is what the goal of working together
Yeah.
is. So the guy in front doesn't need to know he's doing it. But
Yeah, but
you can use him to do
Right
that
side.
with, and just stay with him
Still there.
and not harass him and make him nervous.
Yeah.
Still there. Clear right. On your right. Still there. Hold your line. Hold your
So-
line.
Walt, when like that happens,
your line.
so Charles and Pete's now
Hold your line.
side by side. You know you're going to get a better
Hold your
exit
line.
than them, right?
I do.
Still there.
Yes. And I could do one of two things.
Still
I
there.
could try to stay behind the driver
Still
I
there.
expect
Clear
to win,
right.
which in that case was
Sector
Pete.
1
You know, he
is
tends to be faster on the
1.3 off
inside
the
here.
pace.
Or I
Far
could try to
left.
take the ideal line and pass them both.
Clear left. Right side.
And,
clear right.
that really just comes down to bravado.
Grow a
Somebody
pair.
lost a part.
So
I think in that case, the winning move would have been for me to just stick onto
Sector
Pete's
2 is
rear
0.9
and try to
off the
sneak
pace.
right in behind him to get that position away from Charles.
yeah, I was going to ask that. So when you do make that decision, you anticipate where you are on track and whether you get a good enough run from them. If you, say for example, if you're halfway through the race, would you prefer to have a partner to run with, or not?
Yes.
Listen, or somebody to work with?
Yep.
So you don't run away from both of them because they'll just catch you up again if they work together, right?
You're
Right side. Hold your line.
That's right.
Hold your line.
And I also
Clear
don't want to
right,
make
on your
us
right.
unnecessarily slow as a group.
Hold your line. Clear right.
You've just done.
Car right. Hold your line.
Is this Skippy specific or is this generic racing?
Hold your line.
So Skippy
Still
has more draft dynamic, right?
Clear right.
So it leaves you with some more interesting opportunities for strategy, but the overall idea of the car
Okay,
positioning
Pete,
and
you've used half your fuel.
working
Sector
with
1 is
people
1.5
versus
seconds
fighting and
off the
having
pace.
a conscious reason for why you're going to make a choice one way or the other, that applies to everything.
Okay.
So like now I know I've got Walter behind me, so I know I'm in the danger zone. So where I might have been kind of passive following Charles previously, that's probably not going to work out too well for me now, right? So now I have to think about attacking and defending.
Your sector 2 time is
So
quick.
where I might have
The track
liked to go
temperature's decreasing.
really
It's
wide
now
right there,
83
I know
Fahrenheit.
Walter will just sneak right up onto the left, and then I'm just out another position. I can attack because I'm going to get it taken away from me for daring to take the slower line. Okay, and a lot of times you'll see the weaving happening, so you don't have to be directly behind a car to catch the draft.
You've just
So a lot of
done
times I'll just try and, if they're going back and forth
Sector
and back
3
and
is
forth and back and forth,
0.27 off the pace.
a lot of times I will, just stay
Car right.
a half
Clear
a car
right.
width
Right
behind them,
side. Clear right.
so that I'm still getting their draft, but they're covering more ground because they're weaving back and forth more than I am, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you get side drops from the Skippy? So would like say you'll. Okay.
Yep, Carl Dronke likes to pull that shit on me all the time. You think I'll have him going down the street, and then no, because he'll get millimeter close to the side and will actually draft ahead of me. We're gonna have to bleep a few things, aren't we? Have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
No, we'll edit it out. Don't worry.
I'll find out what else after that.
Yeah, that's a good point though. If you are, if you have the lead, say in a race with one other car, just going next to them on the straight is going to make both of you faster.
Okay.
Wait,
just
really?
going
That's
next to
what? What's that called?
Side
drafting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Sector 2 time is good.
It definitely sounds like an oval racing thing. I didn't realize.
It
It's the
typically
same
happens a
dynamics.
lot more in same dynamics. You see it more in NASCAR actually.
You got something, decent size that's moving through the air at a decent speed, and another such thing next to it. They're both going to go faster. Doesn't really matter what it is. It's just NASCARs happen to be shaped a little bit more like a brick, so it matters a little more.
They're also much closer to each other.
You've got two engines pushing the air out the way.
Good lap. That's your quickest today. You're currently 0.14 off the pace.
And when
Sector
touch
3
out
is
comes, that's a factor.
0.45 off the pace.
Okay, so feeding Charles to Walter. How can we do that?
Yeah.
I'm just going to manage the gap so I'm not blocking. I'm not impeding his progress. I'm just making it really difficult to get a good run, right? Try and bring Walter in
Clear left.
closer to us.
Left
So now
side.
I'll give Walter the draft on purpose.
Hold your line.
So he can get up and kind of mix it up.
Hold your line. Clear left.
There's a little more mixing than I was hoping for. A little more mixing than I was hoping for.
Bucket club, right there.
That didn't quite go the way you thought it was.
But that'll happen too. You'll see that, especially in our league races on Sunday, where there's teammates, formal teammates that are working together. Sometimes the only way that you can really hope to, like I got Edwin and Christian on the same team, right? If they're P1, P2, you've got some problems, right? Sometimes the only way to keep the synergy between them from being too much to deal with is bring in more cars, right? So I had to do that at Phillip Island because they were refusing to take the lead from me, right? Because they wanted to win on fuel strategy. They wanted to just sit back and lift onto all the corners and save fuel. And I couldn't do anything about it because it was just us three up front. So I just started going slower and slower and slower until I brought in 3-4 more cars. And now they can't just sit behind me anymore and be passive because the situation's too complex now. Now they actually have to fight. So sometimes there is value in intentionally slowing the whole pack down. You're always just, thinking about what's going to be best for me once I get across the line. So it's usually working together with the people around you, but sometimes you need to toss them to the wolves behind.
So that's the phenomenon of backing up the pack, right?
Yes. Yeah. So when you hear you hear about him like, oh, he's backing him up, that is intentionally running that slower defensive line that's very difficult to get around you, but is a half or a full second slower around the lap. So you're bringing in more people to cause a little bit of chaos, a little bit more dynamic situation behind you that others will have to deal with, and you won't because you're still ahead.
That's the end of the session. P3.
Right. That was a very good demonstration. That's something I really learned a lot from. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. I certainly learned a lot there as well from those explanations.
So
yeah, thanks for running around and let us watch.
Yeah,
we've stopped running races. I would like to do a little race for us again at some point. I'll post in Discord and see when you guys will be up for it. I'm not going to do it at the same time we do these because I find the additional time more valuable at the moment for myself personally. So it's up to you guys as well. If you think you want to do a race after these sessions, we can figure something out. And then I might not be able to take part in it, but I'm happy to host that for you guys if you want to do that. but that'd be good to see.
Big ol' net code here.
Have a bit of fun on track with the race as well, if you guys are up for it.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'd be down.
I guess.
I guess. Just for the new folks who joined us tonight, did you find this helpful? Is there any feedback that you can give us? You don't feel pressure to say anything. It's just, we try to improve where we can.
You can always type it in chat if you don't want to say now, but
Yes.
Or a
Yes.
DM as well.
Or a DM as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a DM, anything. But yeah, we would like some feedback if you guys don't mind.
DM? You mean Dot Martins?
I think it was okay. I was surprised because driving in the pack first, I felt a little bit boring, but then I felt at the end, I felt really comfortable. I didn't care about the car after, right, or front or back of me because I get used to it. And in the races, yeah, I had this similar situations, but usually in the first three rounds you're packed, and then more or less you have your own race, or you have one or two partners. But I think it was a good feeling to just get
thanks for the
used to
follow
it.
again, Popeye. Sorry,
And
I
also
couldn't,
the last
respond
part
in
was
chat.
very interesting to
During
see
the
the
session, I'm hot
strategies.
miking.
I was
So it
able
makes
to
it a little
compare it
difficult.
to my own. I'm not that experienced, but I think every one of us had a lot of fights, and something went wrong, something went good. But now I understand more what I did wrong or why it was good. It was okay for me. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Robert.
If I could say something, I will say I got a lot out of the different on track things, and also watching the demonstration at the end. The only thing I was thinking is if there was more time, which I know that this was 2 hours, which is already a lot of time, but it would have been cool to like maybe pair up with people and do the what you did in the demonstration, where you pick a section of track and somebody's in front and tries to defend, and somebody's behind and tries to attack, as kind of like a practical section.
Yeah, that'd be good. That's a good point.
That might be better than the going 2 in a row and then calling out swaps as it goes. That was really helpful, but it might be interesting to try pairing up and doing that in a more, you're really attacking and you're really defending, and not just doing swaps.
That's a really good shout, but I think there's a bit of method in the madness on the first pairing up as well. We're all quite new to each other.
Oh man.
And just getting
Thanks,
used to
Popeye.
each
I hope
other
you're
is
finding that
important as
useful.
well.
Like Annie and
I
me
drive
were
with Annie
saying
a lot,
right
so I
now,
understand the body language of a car, but I
we're trying
don't
to figure out the
understand
best way
Ariane's,
to
for
convey
example.
some of these concepts.
And I think
so
that helps us just get comfortable. But
we
I
are
definitely agree we
open
should
to
build up,
suggestion.
and maybe next week, instead of doing anything else, we can do another skill session. It's entirely up to you guys, and say, right, let's now focus on what we learned last week. Now, the only problem we've got, and that's a question, is we tend to do track work as well and say next week's track. To achieve that, we should stay in the same track. We should come back to this exact same track and apply what we've learned, because we're focusing on a skill rather than learning the track. But I would like to understand from you guys what your preference would be as well.
Well, definitely, if we stayed at the same track, we will have also gotten a whole week of practice at the track running the races that week. So we would have a lot of practice coming in, which would be great, right? Like then you could really, you really would know your line and know how to fight for real. And so we could go for that extra, little bit at the top.
But would you feel you get value from that though, or would you get more value from? I would personally get value from that. That's an open question.
Yeah,
would you get value from doing the same track again? I would.
Yeah, I think I always find it better to, if there's a specific skill I'm learning that isn't the track,
it's not track
better
specific.
to do that. Yeah, it would better be at a track that I know. That way I don't have to think about so much about learning the breaking points and all that, because I already know it, because I've turned a bunch of laps of that track, and then I can focus on the topic.
Sorry,
sorry, Annie. I'm even happy as an example. I'm playing devil's advocate at the moment. Okay, so I'm happy to say midweek through, if I've got a spare hour, I'll post in the chat that I'm available to do that. If anyone's up for it, join me as well. So I'd like to encourage you guys to organize events like this between yourselves as well, if you can, if you want to. I'm happy to do those next week again as well. For example, Annie and myself will do this because we husband and wife. So at some point we will apply this ourselves. So we'll get real benefit from that. But I'm happy to see if I've got some spare time during the week. I'll post in there and say I'm going to do a quick session if anyone wants to join in. Would that be useful?
I would find that extremely useful. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I think, sorry, Daniel, just to try and explain things. This is our very first season of Race to Learn, and we're still working on the structure of the Race to Learn program going forward. Personally, I would like to have both in a session where we did the side to side, and then
All right, Pete,
in
we're running
a
on
later
fumes,
in the
mate.
session
In this
the
lap,
3
box
and
this lap.
defending and trying to overtake at once, because I can remember as a fresh rookie I was freaking scared to be side by side with another car. And I found that on Facebook, on the comments on YouTube, on comments on Facebook, people DMing me saying they are too scared to go side by side with a car. And this is what we're trying to help people with, to overcome that fear of overtaking in a turn, overtaking there, being side to side, being 3 wide, being 2 wide. So that's all part of the program going forward, is to help the fresh rookies that have got very little experience.
Yeah, I think like I said, everything that we did on track today, I got a lot of value out of. And, just being able to run side by side with, not just one person, but also, I got a lot out of, there's a person to your side, but also a car in front and a car to
at the
your
back
front side.
Hey, Popeye. Thanks, man. Glad you found that useful.
You don't really see that a lot in
doing
any race.
track guides on Sundays and trying to keep the Race to Learn series focused on practical skills.
What might be useful is if
but I know we want to do a few more of those. Laguna,
kind of
we haven't done one
put
just
some
'cause it's so
timestamps on the session. So
popular.
maybe the
People
first
generally
15
know
minutes we do single file. Next 15 minutes we do the side by side, and then we can dedicate more time then to the the demonstrations and then getting other drivers involved in trialing those tactics.
Yeah, I agree, Charles.
Yeah.
But it's I was just trying to find the balance as well.
Yeah.
Which is just experimenting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Something you could also
register
do
for the next
is
official.
if you were doing demonstrations, like the 2-car demonstration today, you could have a couple laps where you take volunteers and there's just 2 cars out on track and everybody watches.
I probably want to have a little practice before I do that.
You were going too narrow into there,
2 minutes,
and you have everybody watching you.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough time. We'll do a practice
take
session.
volunteers for that. Don't do everybody.
And then
session.
we'll do the next
I would volunteer.
VIR race.
That's something that Larry and I have spoken about in terms of the coaches watching the less experienced guys and pointing out things to them. So yeah, that's certainly something we've discussed.
Yeah, we've done that as well, Charles. Sorry, like for example, Pete jumped in my car the other week.
Yes.
I've also set up specific channels as well, like RTL Coach 1, 2, and 3, where you guys, once we get more mature and get to know each other more, I'm confident we'll split into smaller groups. I know that will naturally happen as well with more focus sessions. I think that understanding so I came up with the content and I was incorrect with what I came up with. For example, I've got one of the sessions is meant to be setups. I tried to record a video with Andrew Opley on that, and I realized very early on in the video this is not fit for purpose for Race to Learn at all. It's too complex a topic, it's too personal, and it needs too much research. So that will come out. I've been trying to do racecraft for a couple of sessions now, and we're struggling to find to express my vision and get it to work on track. This evening, honestly, was the first time where I thought this is cracking. The demonstration you guys gave at the end gave me so much value. The previous sessions where we did side by side gave me loads of value, but this gave me absolute insight into decision making. And now I want to go try that next week. So I think we learn a lot from doing these sessions as well. And we will start breaking the group into smaller groups as well and have focus conversations.
Yeah, I just want to say that I learned a lot tonight. I never thought that there would be room for 2 cars in corkscrew.
There's room for 3, I promise.
Yeah, that's one thing that I have always been so scared about. And then watching Pete's lines, how much more to track that he uses compared to me, really helpful. And that's something that I really need to learn.
That's good.
It's unrelated, but is it bad that I just like really love overtaking into corkscrew? Like I used to do it in rookies in the Miata all the time, and it was hilarious every single time.
That's sadistic, I think. Honestly, when people do that to me in the corkscrew, it's like, I don't know, what word should I use? It's quite intense because I hardly know the line through corkscrew when I was in rookies.
But I think in the lowest splits, it's suicidal when you try this.
Yes,
Yeah,
low
that is.
splits definitely. I can guarantee you in the splits that I am, if you try that, it's going to be chaos.
Yeah, it is a
when-
bit suicidal.
Yeah, you'll see people in front of you kind of like racing each other. You don't get up there and try to do like we just did there a second ago. You just let them wreck each other and then go around them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I usually do. I just stay behind them, keep a bit of distance, and let them wreck.
Exactly.
I've had really good races with, even when I was I mean my I rating plummeted when I went out of rookies, just because I was just so bad. And there was one race, Barber Motorsport Park, and for some reason there's one guy, we had the same approach, and I had the best race ever. And that's what got me hooked on sim racing, is because we ran side by side through every turn for the entirety of the race. He was quicker, and I absolutely loved that. And I've had it again, but not to that level because of the splits I run in. Because when you run next to somebody, they either turn in on you or they push wide and push you off the track, and so you just don't risk it.
One thing I would like to call out is if you look at Pete and I on lap 30, when we went too wide in the corkscrew, it was interesting because that was the first time he and I did a lap together on this track, and I think it demonstrates an appropriate amount of compromise and space to give the other driver when you're encountering them for the first time. You know, I'm not taking the ideal inside line through the end. He's not taking the ideal outside line. We're both being very generous. And in the lower splits, if you do choose to overtake here, that's probably either of our lines is probably one you want to approximate.
I might not try it in the lower splits because I don't trust the guy to hold his line.
Yeah, I don't trust the guys in the lower splits. It's scary. It's honestly scary stuff.
Yes. I would when we do a community race with you guys, absolutely.
Yeah. But with people I don't know, yeah, I'll be too scared. I think that's part of my problem, me personally as a rookie, where I'm struggling, is because you'll see in the community races, I'll be loads more gutsy in what I do. It's because I know you guys. Whereas in an official race, I'm too scared sometimes to take the risk that I would normally do.
Yeah.
But you never know what people are gonna do in the lower splits. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That is one of the problem. But if you have the confidence to do it in the lower splits, you're gonna scare the other
Watch your
guy
speed.
more than what you are scared at the end.
That's
so
true.
if you dare to stay in there and hold your line, you're
Yeah,
gonna scare them
sure.
off like crazy.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That's actually true. Yeah,
I have seen Annie.
You can make people crash that way.
I've seen Annie in practice, and during races, it's like it's sometimes